Ah, hello. I I'll be honest, I don't entirely remember what I was doing last time. All I know is right now that is really fast. Well, it's nighttime right now, so I should probably be trying to not be outside. That's probably a good idea. Probably should make a trapdoor or something. But either way. Oh jeez, okay. Had the world loading for a while, hoping that the lag would subside. I'm not really sure what's going on. I swear, for episode one, I was able to get like nothing, no problems. There wasn't any weird frame issues. There wasn't any weird dips or lag. It just worked. And now that I'm trying to do episode two, it's being funky, even though I don't know what I'm doing differently. Oh dear. Okay, I'll have to, I guess, fiddle with that some other time, but for the time being, let us digs. I think last time I never actually got around to doing like one of my questions that I tried to do. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have one prepared. I guess I'll just I don't know, I'll probably eventually think up of something. I do know I did put in the description a bunch of things that I either meant to say or clarify or whatever, and then just didn't get around to in the video because I don't have a script or a notepad on hand of things I want to refer to, which maybe I should do. I don't know. But also, I don't know, I guess ADHD brain. ADHD brain, very fun. Something I did want to elaborate on with VR Minecraft was I don't know, I kind of like how I guess how vulnerable I feel in VR Minecraft. Let me ask. That may sound weird, but let me ask this. I'm trying to get back up to the top so I can. I guess whatever. How often are you actually scared by Minecraft mobs? Like maybe when you first played, you were afraid, but how often do you look at a mob in Minecraft and feel like they're an actual threat, or are they just an annoyance, an obstacle? Like, okay, I gotta either deal with that later or get strong enough so that I can just one tap them or something and no longer have to deal with them. And then they're just another nuisance. I kind of miss when it did feel like even if the AI is has always been simple or their roles as mobs has always been very, I guess, simplistic. You can just put them in a box and they will not know how to deal with or react to that. But I feel like being in VR, and especially with the fact that if I do want to actually kill a mob, I have to actually swap to my sword and then attack it. I don't know, it kind of feels like it actually makes them threatening again. I imagine for a lot of people it would be really annoying, but I think for me it kind of, I don't know, adds back that feeling of, oh shit, I'm fighting for my fucking life in here. But yeah. Oh goodness. I don't offhand know how to open the F3 menu while in VR. I think there's some kind of menu, but I think we can go below Y level 0 in this. At least that's one of the modern features that's been preserved in this mod pack. But I guess I'm gonna find out eventually. And then I guess before I do forget, I need to figure out some method of setting my spawn. Because I don't really want to use beds to skip the night, but I do still want to be able to set my spawn. And I think there should be a couple of mods out there that are I know for like Forge, there's one called Insomniac, I think it is, where it's literally just you right click with a bed, and it will set your spawn, but it will not skip the night, and that is it. You need to fetch one of those. Oh goodness. Also, apologies if I'm a bit more quiet. I feel like some episodes I'm probably gonna be able to, go like a full hour and just talk, 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 talk. And I think there's gonna be just other times where I might just be more quiet. But I think that's okay. Lepis, and I can harvest this Lepis. I know it's Lepis. Wow, I just found another way to butcher it. I don't know why. I will sometimes purposefully butcher words or sentences for my own personal amusement. I will purposefully talk like a fucking caveman because I think it's funny, and for no other real reason. Okay, this is pretty tough to break. Okay. There we go. I think I mentioned before that I did add a couple of them, or maybe I added a mod or two. I know I added the Falling Tree mod because VR, but I'm not sure if I added anything else. I think I did add Create. And while every now and then I do kind of think, what kind of mods do I want to add to? Oh my god, what kind of mods do I want to add to this pack? And I kind of feel like for the most part, I just prefer keeping things. Oops. I prefer just kind of keeping it simple, at least if I'm doing this sort of alpha pack. I do occasionally have other, like, more modern, like, let's say, just kind of explore packs. And those I will absolutely gladly cram with every bit of, like, exploration content possible. Twilight Forest? Heck yeah, add that in there. The Aether? Why not? I'm trying to think other that are not just like dimension mods. But you get the idea. But then I feel like if I'm trying to make, at least when I'm making my more alpha side packs, like I want it to feel like alpha. I want it to be more simple and just kind of, let's just play some classic era Minecraft. It can be kind of easy to sort of break that vibe and just add. I don't know. Like I want to say I've had multiple times adding like Twilight Forest, and it just kind of feels like, well, yeah, but now there's this incentive to me to go explore in the Twilight Forest and like do dungeons and bosses and loot, and yeah, it kind of takes, at least for me, it takes away. I'm sure for everyone out there who, whoops, I'm sure everyone out there, they have their own personal tastes, and there's probably people out there that probably don't even really care much for this sort of alpha aesthetic mod packs. They're just like, you're just playing like a really old version of the game. What's the appeal in that? I guess I never really knew how to really express to people why I like this sort of old version. I didn't even start playing the game until 1.2.4. I might have talked about that in a previous episode. I'm gonna assume I didn't. But I think part of it is because my first exposure to the game was an alpha let's play by Banana Pylord, and is partly why I wanted to do a Minecraft let's play for quite a while over the years. But I don't know. I think it's hard to put into words. I think there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that do kind of express how modern Minecraft feels bloated. Oh my god, really not help me focus on this. How modern Minecraft feels overly bloated, and like there's just a lot of crap in it that doesn't really improve the game, or things that you have to to contend with, like phantoms, or I think how a lot of the game, at least for me, it feels like a lot of the game kind of ended up becoming Terraria in a way, where it's like you want to go after the bosses, you want to find specific structures in the world to get specific resources or mobs or whatever, and it can kind of feel like, what happened to this being like a creativity toy? Like, yeah, this having all this stuff like ocean monuments or nether, not fortresses, those big um black structures that with like the piglins and shit. I can't remember what it's called, but like that, it's like, yeah, that's cool and it adds something to do. But I don't know. It's like, this sounds weird because it's like, oh, if you don't like something in a game and it's a sandbox, why not just not deal with it at all? And that is a thought. That is a thought. If you don't, want to kill the Ender Dragon, then just don't do it. If you don't want to bother with, I don't know, like let's say, like I think like just a little bit ago, I saw Simply Sark upload a video about how there's like a huge problem with XP in the game because, oh, they added like this potion of infesting, and you can just put that on a mob that will either regenerate or takes barely any damage, like the, oh god, what is it? It's like the thing that rolls up into a ball and has a shell on it. Armadillo. And and how you can just like put on that and then get a bunch of XP from it. And I think there is a perfectly valid argument of, well, if you don't like, okay, obviously if you're in multiplayer, this makes things really complicated, but it's like, okay, well, if you don't like what that does to the game, then don't do it. And while I think there is a argument of, like, well, the temptation is always there and whatnot, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's messy because it's like, again, yeah, I could, like, I didn't have to add back or have back, say, like everything from alpha. I could have just made like a regular 1.21 or whatever version that just has, say, like the world generation and the resource pack, and called it a day. That I didn't have to do. Like, I think there's even another mod pack that's meant to be sort of alpha-esque, and it changes a bunch of the newer items and models to be more like beta aesthetic. So it's like, why not just do that? Why not just do that and just enjoy the regular, rest of Minecraft? And I honestly just never really had a way of knowing how to really describe why I prefer like just having a bunch of that stuff, a bunch of the newer stuff either changed or cut out. Like I can't sprint. I think you can sprint in VR. I think there's a way, or at least nothing else. There should be like a keybind, and then of course the whole like there's no hunger. And at least I think with hunger, it's probably a bit more understandable because at least I do kind of like the idea of you only need to eat if you've taken damage. Otherwise, I'm not taking any damage. I don't have to, like, as soon as I spawn into the world, I don't need to immediately start focusing on farming, or else I'm going to starve to death. I've been, I'm pretty sure there is mobs because we saw like feathers dropped earlier, but I haven't really seen many mobs lately. Oh yeah, Dimensional Doors. That's been there. I think it's been there even since episode, like the original episode 1. I'll, that is really weird. I'll probably deal with that later. Oh yeah, and Botania. I forgot I added Botania. Okay, I'll keep it. I think Botania's nice. ADHD brain. Oh right, I've never really known how to really. Okay, I'm sorry. That's really weird to me. Even though I'm 90% sure That's not how the actual model really works. But either way, I've never really been able to figure out how to, I guess, describe why I prefer, a bunch of stuff taken out or swapped out. Maybe, because I'm trying to think. I don't think there's really much in the way of, like, the older game that I would really, like, change. At least when I'm playing the older versions. I might much more prefer to have things like maybe some of the modern items, like maybe, well, I guess bundles is what usually comes to mind. I'm sure there's others. And maybe I would like to be able to sprint. Maybe I would like it if it was just as simple as, okay, food is like I need more food because I have a hunger bar, but because of that, the game is much more balanced around there being a variety of ways to get food, and it's not just like when did apples become added to the game? I know there was a long while where there wasn't apples. If you cut down a tree, you didn't get apples. If you wanted food, it was either you killed an animal and used their meat, or you tilled grass with a hoe, and they would drop seeds. And well, that was okay. And that's how you got seeds, and you would just grow those. But I think it does feel like in more modern versions, there's just way more, I guess, accommodations to the player. Like I swear, for a little while, I would be trying to play this pack, and it just felt like anytime I'd boot up a world, that would be like within 100 to 200 blocks away from spawn, there'd be a village. And it's just like, well, okay, I kind of feel compelled to like always grab a bed or grab resources. Hi. Again. The fact they didn't just disappear immediately. Anyway. What was I saying? Like, I guess it's like the temptation is always there. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's been a really weird conversation for the longest time of like, oh, how much challenge should be in a video game, or maybe a specific genre. Like, I don't know, maybe you've got something like, I'm trying to think. For some reason, Animal Crossing keeps coming to mind, even though I don't think I've ever really played any reasonable amount of Animal Crossing ever, so I can't really speak on that. Maybe something like Pokemon. Like, you got games where they're easy. It makes sense that they're easy, and I don't think. And while there might be people who yearn for something that's a bit more of a challenge, like, well, people do Nuzlocke challenge fun for a reason. But I think games like that, there's not really much reason to demand that they be harder. And then you got something like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, where I think it gets a little bit muddy of like what's too hard. I mean, at least lately it feels like the DLC came out for Elden Ring. I don't remember what it's called, and everyone is saying it's way too hard, and then the whole like debate of what's too hard versus too easy has been coming back again, and whatever. But I guess I kind of like the feeling of when Minecraft was a bit more like just survival was the challenge. Surviving was the challenge, and it wasn't just something to get in the way of you exploring the world and doing your projects. You trying to survive and make fortifications, even if fortifications weren't really necessary, but making your world safe, that was the focus. That was the challenge, I think. I think that's what I miss from those older days. Also, sorry, I'm trying to rub my head, but I have my controller hanging limply because I have the strap on, so it's just my arm is just doing this. I had to pick it back up. But it's like maybe that's what it is. Maybe because we just got so used to, like Minecraft being a survival game, in the older days. But then it drifted away from that and became more of this sort of, I guess, open world adventure game that just so happened to have a lot of sandbox stuff in it. But then all the survival stuff that it was built on top of that we really, enjoyed it for just kind of became this thing off to the side that was more annoying than anything. Even, like even the fact of, phantoms spawning if you don't sleep for enough nights in a row. You're encouraged to skip what was the main threat in, like in the trailers and shit for Minecraft. Like that was the main threat. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Night is not safe. Like even then, right now, I should probably be barricading myself in here so I can at least like dig in peace. And I probably should just let me just do this. Okay, now I can do things in peace. But it's like, yeah, maybe because I don't know, I recall there's that really infamous trailer by Verade. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Where this feels like my understanding was the whole challenge was surviving the night and knowing that you were not alone. But now it feels like you're heavily encouraged to just look past all that and just I don't know, I guess like advance up the tech tree, go defeat the Ender Dragon. Even though I do think maybe part of me is just trying to rationalize things, because I know there is the argument of like, oh, what if you're just getting older and you just don't like Minecraft, and that might be a very scary thing to admit because something that brought you so much joy in childhood no longer does, and that can really suck. It can really suck feeling like you don't really know what to draw joy or fun from anymore, especially when it feels like, I imagine most people would agree that adulthood is kind of constantly tripping over itself to make life difficult, and especially at times what feels like for reasons that should not exist. I'm sure anyone who has had trouble with things like insurance knows exactly what I'm talking about. But like maybe I am just tired of Minecraft. Because I know there was a while where I didn't really play it. I think for a little bit I did try modded. But other than that, there wasn't really much in the vanilla game that really wowed me or interested me. And it can be hard to draw the line between what's, I've had my time with the game, it's time for me to move on to other things, versus the directions that Mojang has been taking the game of in recent years leaves a lot to be desired, especially since after they, I guess, were bought up by Microsoft. Because at least it does feel like I don't know, like does anyone? I feel like for a while there was like I was excited for updates to this game. They were cool. They were always exciting and whatnot. But nowadays, it does kind of feel like I'll maybe poke at the patch notes, and it might just be the fact that I've done a lot of modding of the game or seen other games. But then it's like, it's been several months since the last update, and they show you this, and it's just like, this is something that I've probably found a mod that already adds, like in a really cool way, or something like this. Maybe this mod, or not, this patch maybe fixes or addresses a problem that modders have had months, years to, like, they've already had a solution and they've had time to iterate on those solutions and what works and what doesn't. And while I'm sure Mojang is not 100% like just turning a blind eye it can, at least to me, kind of feel like they're just not able to put any real meat or substance in their updates. Like the freaking oh god, I don't think it was the last one, but I know the April Fool's joke with like the potato update and how they add like a whole potato dimension. I personally haven't played that because I think at the time I was just not really feeling Minecraft, but I know for certain the like random dimensions mod for the one April Fool's update, I think a few years back, like that was awesome. I legitimately like even set up like a whole multi MC mod pack thing just so I could like mod that version of the game and play like a little modded playthrough of it and just do random shit while exploring like whatever random dimensions I came across and see what all I could do. And I think I might have even I might have expressed I'd have to go back and rewatch the video, but just custom worlds. Like I'm pretty sure I've talked about it, so I'm not gonna say too much. But just custom worlds, like we don't we don't get shit like that anymore. It feels like we don't really like. It is really nice having like cherry secretaries and whatnot, but it's like again, it feels like it's all stuff that we've seen from mods before, and there's probably mods out there that have already been doing cherry secretaries and probably better than what Mojang is. At the same time, it's, you know, I'm sure at the end of the day, Mojang is kind of tied with, well, one, having to make all this update for Bedrock Edition as well in a completely different language, in a completely different engine, and that is time consuming all its own. And then they have to consider what and how do these features interact with each other in the future, especially if they have anything planned of what they want to do in the future. Whereas with a mod, it can just be here. I wanted to make this mod. It can rely on the fact that you have other mods installed. It might not, and it's completely up to the player of how they want to balance things and how they want, you know, what they want their game to focus on. It. I feel like maybe in a way it's like, you know, choosing between maybe just some, you know, just any kind of, I guess let's say restaurant. Use restaurants. Like just going somewhere where they might make, you know, perfectly reasonable food, and it's for what it's priced, which I think Minecraft is still. I'd have to double check. I think it's still like $60 for an account. I'd have to double check. But it's like all things considered, that's a pretty. Come on, that's a pretty reasonable price. I think even today. I think there was a time where Minecraft was less, but I think it went back up, or maybe gone back down since then. I don't know. And at least for right now, I know Bedrock Edition has like all those microtransactions. We're just not gonna fucking talk about those because I don't want to think about those. But you know, like you got a restaurant, you go and get food, and that they might have like their own specific style of food that they want to do, and you might want something different sometimes, or a lot of the time, and feel like, you know, they keep churning out the same stuff that only kids would really find exciting. But it's like, yeah, this is it gets the job done. This is in fact a video game that I can play and enjoy. It's virtual Legos, and I love me some motherfucking Legos. But then And then it feels like you turn to modding, and it's like, what's the equivalent of that? What, you, you got so many other chefs, you know, working in the kitchen? You can go back there and say, like, how about we get chefs from, you know, this culture, or this background? And it's like, you can, like, just off the top of my head, like, if you want to turn Minecraft into a horror game, you can do that. You want to download, you know, maybe not necessarily mods, but just like maps. You want to have like custom maps of like parkour, or a little bit of everything with, you know, the monument ones. I don't know what I'm talking about. I could be talking about just nothing. I feel like I have more I want to say to make sense what I'm saying, and the words are just not coming to me. Maybe it was just, the fact that I started playing modded, and I like modded, and that's just kind of the end of it. There is, arguably a purity of playing just vanilla Minecraft and just playing the content that Mojang puts out, but I guess for me it feels like it's perfectly arbitrary. There's things that, can be added to the game through mods that feel like something that Mojang would add, and there's things that Mojang can add that feel like mods. Like, I'm pretty certain that's one of the things in recent years that's been said a lot, is people saying how there's things that are being added and they don't feel like proper updates. They feel like mods. And maybe if you have mods that, can aim for the stars because they're not worried about, things like how the future is going to impact. Because, like, here is just a mod for, oh my god, come on. Here is just a mod for a specific version of Minecraft. It might be updated to the future versions, it might not. And how it interacts with the rest of the game is, 9 times out of 10, not really the artist's or artist? Yeah, sure, the artist's problem. It's all, here's a mod, here's what it does. There might be things like config files, or maybe other patches, or maybe even just, deliberate tweaks to the mod behind the scenes. But other than that, there's undoubtedly a lot of restrictions that Mojang has to take into consideration that modders just don't, and it can feel like the modding, at least for me, feels like modded Minecraft has way more life and way more interesting things going on than Mojang will ever be able to capitalize off of, or even draw inspiration from. And it is quite tragic. It is quite tragic feeling that this is a game I once really cared about. And while I would like to think I still do to some degree, a lot of the joy maybe I have for this game maybe not necessarily is gone, but just took on other shapes and was splintered to other things. Oh my god, come on. There we go. I have recently been playing, what games have I been playing? I have been playing a little bit of, like, okay, it's been a while since I touched it, but I was playing a little bit of Fallout 76 not too long ago. And after that, I've been playing a bit of, like, First Descendant, because that came out, and then kind of felt like, oh, that's a game that I like. I like the style of. I do like the feeling of, getting better guns and gear and fighting bosses and shit. I'll admit I've recently had some rather negative experiences with First Descendant, and it makes me not want to play it much anymore. I've for the most part I've just been logging in to do the dailies and then do the season pass stuff until I get to a certain point where I have gotten all the things I wanted, which is, well, to say, level 64 out of 100, because that's when you get at least like the last item, like actual weapon, and the rest is just skins. And I don't really care much about the skins, so I've just been logging on to do the dailies and just kind of calling it there. I do have probably plenty of other games that I've been meaning to play. Like, I still need to play shoot, the Stalker series. Fallout London. The Fallout London mod just came out not too long ago. It does seem like there's a lot of people saying it's very buggy and unbalanced, and I have no reason to doubt them. And I feel like, yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable just like recently I've just been going back to a lot more, I guess, creature comforts games. So lately I have been playing New Vegas again. Oh shoot, I didn't mean it. Okay. Playing New Vegas again, playing Minecraft again. I'm not sure how long I'll play it. I might have my 2-week phase of enjoying Minecraft. And I think that's okay. I don't know if I'll stick with this series for very long. I think I might certainly just do some silly stuff and mess around for a little while, and if that's all this series becomes, then that's fine by me. I still want to do I think I mentioned it, but as silly and trite as this sounds, I want to do the tier list idea. Because I think having a little tier list of a lot of the different mods that have cropped up over the years would be really a really cool idea. I do have a specific idea of how the tier list is going to work, because normally it is just kind of like, S tier, A, B, C, F, and whatever. But I have something different in mind, because I imagine, trying to rate mods, especially like Minecraft mods, is going to be a challenge, because it's like, well, some mods are meant to be small, some mods are meant to be big, some mods can be very easy to integrate with other mods, and some mods are so fucking big or messy or complicated that you kind of have to form the whole mod pack around them. You can't just add an entire, like, okay, this feels like a really stupid fucking analogy, but it's like you can't just add an entire fucking pickle to chicken soup. You're gonna you're gonna kill someone with it, all right? But I like pickles. Pickles are tasty. And sometimes I want a fucking pickle, and sometimes I want some just chicken soup. And sometimes I might want, an alpha mod pack, and sometimes I want, do a lot of exploration and shit, but you try to combine the two and it just don't work. But all of that being said, I do have a system in mind I want to use, specifically something that Ross Scott from Accursed Farms did, where I think it was his video of the game list. Like, he has like this whole other side website that he hosts his content in case YouTube gets a little bit messy. Well, more so, I guess, just takes down his videos because YouTube is YouTube, but And something he did as a little side project was he had like a whole game list of games that he was interested in, want to try out, and as he would play through them, he said he would be giving them ratings. And I kind of like this idea, and I kind of like the idea of at least like how he did it, where I'm probably gonna misquote, and oh yeah, I really like those big trees, and I really like the fact that it grew like right there. And also, hold on, I do need to kind of just assess. Okay. Oh, I was out all day, or inside all day. Darn. No, well, that's okay. But I'm probably gonna misquote, and I'd have to like go back, take some notes, and all that shit. But I'm gonna try to do all this from memory. Where at the very top tier is fantastic. It's basically like the highest, like let's see, I'm gonna try to do this like full. This is the highest rate I can give any game, short of Dream Game, but I've never come across any of those. So that's still theoretical. Essentially, my life is better because I played this game. That does not necessarily mean the game doesn't have problems. It just means that the highs of the game were so high that I just don't care about the lows. It was an absolute fantastic experience. Below that is good/great. Now don't let me sell you short. Anything that gets this rating has my full seal of approval. This game rose up above the masses and absolutely left their mark. And I'm trying to remember what is behind that. I think there's definitely one called Pass, where this one's a little weird. Essentially, the idea is not that this is inherently a bad game, or I guess in this case, a bad mod. Rather, it's the wrong mod for me. And I think for me, a lot of like tech mods, like I want to say like Ender.io, if anyone remembers that mod. Actually, I think it's in one of the more recent versions, or has been updated. Like those like really big, automated tech mods, like GregTech. That's probably a better example, like GregTech. Okay, I can't connect Crouch. Okay, what if I do this? Oh dear. There we go. But anyway, Pass is like, this is the wrong game for me. Someone who actually likes this sort of stuff should weigh in, and I shouldn't really weigh in since like it's not something that appeals to me. So I don't really have much an opinion on it, and whatever thoughts I do have probably aren't really relevant to the people who are actually looking for this kind of mod. And for the people who do agree with my opinion, are probably going to. Okay. I have never seen that happen before. I was so. Oh, God. I'm okay. But anyway, I feel like it's only fair if, like, I am probably going to address. I'm not really sure what to do with that for right now. I guess I'll just leave it there. But. Shooting more iron, too. I never even made a furnace yet. Dang. Okay, sorry, my thoughts are just kind of all over the place. I think I need a moment to fucking calm down for what I saw. I need some dirt. There we go. And I'll just leave that 2 blocks tall. Actually, I could probably just leave all of this 2 blocks tall. I was gonna eventually like remove that row, make it 3 blocks tall, but I think I might just leave this 2 blocks tall and just have it be like, the side where I have other chests, my furnace, that sort of thing. And then I do eventually want to actually change up the ceiling and walls to like actually have floors, like maybe cobblestone, some wood. Nothing too really sophisticated or fancy. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need to make another shovel. I'm trying to think. But yeah, that's the pass rating. And I think there's another one that he had called Doubt, where it was essentially like, oh, maybe the game itself was perfectly fine. Something about it felt very hollow or soulless. And I honestly don't really know if there's any Minecraft mod that would fit that criteria for me. There's plenty of mods out there that I might not really vibe with, but I don't really think it's because they're bad or soulless. Just not for me. Maybe, there's plenty of Ubisoft games where I would definitely say, like, yeah, there's not any real spirit here. This is as generic gets. But just, let's see. Yeah, there. Put you there. And then there's probably mods out there that are like just bad. But it's like, well, then again, there's plenty of other mods to talk about. So why even like bother bringing them up? There's so many to talk about. And I think I might also just have like another tier that's maybe, I'm trying to think. Oh, right. Okay. One of his tiers was love and hate, where it was essentially like, yep, I know, I heard that. I just don't feel like whatever. Where it was essentially like, this is not a mediocre game. This game has so much going for it, but then has serious, serious issues that just drag it all back down for me. This rating upsets me more than any other, and might make you lose some sleep. They usually can't be modded, or like those games usually can't be modded, or or rely on a central server or whatever, and it just fucking sucks. And I think I probably have a few mods exactly like that, where like they look really cool, I want to like them, but they change something, or the way they work, or the way you have to get into it is just like, why? Like, I think it's long since changed, but I know when I initially was trying to get into Thaumcraft and learn Thaumcraft, anyone who's probably been around the modding scene a while is going to immediately know what I'm talking about when I say like the way you did the research, like the way you research stuff, and you had to like identify what items had specific, um, oh god, like had specific elements, like say wood was like nature, a torch was like nature plus fire because, well, wood and fire. But then if you wanted to research something, you had like a grid where it's like, okay, you've got one element here of something, one element up here with something, one element here of something, and you had to connect all of it with like adjacent elements or something. Like say if here is maybe water, then you can connect something there that's also got water in it, but maybe something else, and then you can connect from something there, and you have to chain all these things together, and it was such a fucking mess because you didn't always have the cleanest things to like connect with on hand to do that with. And I think you even had to like also, like, if you were doing research, you had to actually like get the items that had those attributes. And okay, that's actually really like drop. I don't know if this is gonna work. Hi, you've been very active lately. I'm not sure what's up with that. Did it disappear? No. What if I do this? Okay. Ugh. It's still. You can probably tell that, like, I'm sure I don't really show much real like emotion, but he does kind of get a rise out of me, and I normally am just like, I'm already in the middle of a sentence, I'm just gonna carry on and fuck you. I don't fucking care, even though the fact that I sound very frantic should probably tell you that I immensely care, and I am immensely. Anyway, but like, yeah, trying to get into Thonkai was a mess. I think it is long, long since been changed, and I just never really like came around to actually learning Thaumcraft. I think at the same time, I just felt like it added so much stuff, and a lot of it was so much like, at least it felt like very. I don't know if self-centered is the right word, and I can't really think of another example, but it's like it kind of like a sort of mod where a lot of its mechanics existed purely inside of the mod, and it didn't like actually interact with the rest of the game. Like, I guess for a sort of example, let's say, I'm trying to think. Like, normally if you add a mod, like, say, a tech mod, it kind of want to be able to, oh my god. Let's see you. Come at me. Goodbye. Oh. Oh my god. Okay, like, I'm sorry. I probably don't really sound it much. Well, I probably do now, but like, mobs are actually kind of harrowing to deal with. And that was just a basic fucking zombie. That wasn't like a creeper or a skeleton. That was just a basic fucking zombie. And for reasons I don't fully know how to explain, it was incredibly stressful. Hi, Enderman. Well, at least as long as I get my cursor off him, he won't. Mm. Okay. I want to continue my staircase down, so I'm gonna have to probably just start with something like this. And then I'll just have to break the extra blocks. Shoot, how do I get around this? Okay, and I guess before I forget what I was talking about, I feel like there's a lot of things in Thaumcraft that don't really improve your, I guess, quality of life in the game. There's a few things, but I feel like a lot of it was just, here's like a side grade. Like, oh yeah, you could get a bow, to shoot arrows, i.e. a projectile, and have that do damage. Or you could do all these other things to get spells that kind of felt similar power-wise, I think. Really should probably have done more, like, actual research. But at least what I had observed was it did kind of feel like, okay, I could, put into all this research, both in the game to get these items, and, well, of course, researching the mod, or I could just stick to what I know, and it doesn't feel like there's much benefit to trying out these new tools that Thaumcraft provides. And while that's probably wrong, and there probably is like a lot of genuinely interesting or cool things that the mod actually does add, and I just need to actually like properly like get my hands on it and play around with it a bit. It at least felt like when I was still, yeah, there's some creepers. When there was still some what was I saying with that sentence? Oh my god. I just fucking... Okay. Before I do anything else, I'm going to make sure I'm actually doing this... Get me up. Doing this semi-right. So I need to curve around like this. And... yeah? Right here? But yeah, I felt like there was a lot of work they had to do in Thaumcraft just to kind of do, things you can already do elsewhere. Or maybe even with, like, similar with other mods. I know one called, Blood Magic was one that, at least I think at the time when I was looking into it, it felt very undeveloped. Like there was a lot around the whole sacrificing mobs thing, and like blood, and then like how you made or how you upgraded the altar and things of that nature. That Enderman is actually making me very, very nervous. Oh. What? Okay. I'm just gonna be over here. What? You guys worried? I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. No. See, I see how calmly I am talking right now. See how absolutely not shitting myself I am doing right now. Where is that fucking Enderman? Get over here so I can stab you. He's not gonna come until I. Alright, you know what? Fine. Be that fucking way. You actual fuck. I need iron. Alright. Alright. As long as I'm in this 1x2 hole, he can't get to me. And there is an army of skeletons. You know what I can do? There. We'll be nice and safe in here. Nice and safe. And I guess, while I wait to see if that Enderman is going to figure out anything. Where even is he? Is he even mad at me, or is he mad at something else? I don't actually know. I'm just gonna... You know what? I'm just gonna rush out. Nope. 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 I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're on about. I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what your deal is. I'm just gonna go back up. I'm gonna go back up, and we can pretend like this never happened. You and me. Bros. Broskies. I'm okay. Enderman's gone. I don't hear him, therefore he must not exist. I thought I saw you right appear there. Fucking hell! Fuck a duck! This is probably not the ideal time to be stressed. Especially with how late at night it is, but fuck. Fuck a duck. How far down did I tunnel? Holy fuck. I didn't put my base in a mountain or something, right? I made it at sea level. How? Oh my god. I swear to god, if I go outside and it's just like 10 minutes till sundown, I'm gonna be... Or 10 seconds. 10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes till sundown. That means... I don't even fucking know what that means. I'm gonna just take this torch. I'm gonna take this. And I'm just gonna place it down somewhere because I... fucking feel like it. And I swear to god, if I go outside and there's just a sign up here... Yeah, see? Like... I'm gonna place you... I don't know. Here. Okay, redstone torch. That would be kind of cool if it retained its name on the tooltip. Ugh. Oh my god. But yes, Thaumcraft and Blood Magic. I've been meaning to get back. At least, I had recently tried like all the mods 9, or whatever the most recent version of it is, and it seemed like, yeah, this is kind of cool. Like, yeah, it's got a lot of the heavier side of Minecraft mods, like a lot of the automation and shit, which I don't really, I'm sure you've heard me spew enough about that in the previous episode, but I just kind of felt like, you know what, yeah, I could probably sit down and chill out, maybe learn some mods that I'm into. At least just kind of see, like, what's going on. Maybe there's more to these things that I know about that I would like. Ugh. I'm just gonna dig gravel. There's probably other things in this episode that I meant to talk about, or was talking about, and then fucking things happened, and it's just like, yes, I would love to continue talking about, whatever it was, but also fucking panic. Ugh. But yes, I would like to eventually do that tier list. Just in case. I don't think a baby zombie would be too much of a threat. I mean, probably, but it's not something like I'm like again. I am actually afraid of a mob coming behind me, whereas on PC, like I could probably just whip around, pull up my sword, and deal with them like they're nothing. Even if it was a creeper, okay, it exploded, big deal. But like this, with no natural health regeneration, and with how clunky it is for me to actually like swing myself around, and even like just getting to my sword, like this is actually fucking scary. I know this probably sounds really weird and stupid, but I swear this is actually terrifying me, and I weirdly like it. Yeah. But yeah, I want to do my tier list sometime. And I probably am going to want to do like some actual proper research, figure out like, okay, what kind of tiers is the thing going to have, because Ross's system probably not going to be all that really compatible with the way mods work, especially since, there's a lot of mods out there. And there's probably going to be plenty of them where if I don't really have much to say, or I don't particularly care for, I'm probably going to instead be talking about mods that I do find interesting or want to talk about. I think I could swap out. I know there's love and hate, but I think there's very few mods that I really like. Oh, I really love but really hate it. It's more so like, man, I wish it was more compatible with other stuff. Like both Dragora and Valkyrian Skies are both mods that I really love, but they're so hard to really incorporate into a mod pack. If the mod pack wasn't like already from the word go, I was making those packs with those mods in mind, because they're just, at least with Valkyrian Skies, it's very incompatible. And in Dragora, it kind of like flips up the entire world. So it's like, hey, if you have other mods that rely on like natural regen, like structures, or God forbid another world gen mod, like I don't think it's really relevant. Well, I guess like Biomes of Plenty. I think there's probably other mods that have taken that crown of like really good world gen mods, but something that's like, well, Dragor is going to take all of that and shove it to the side. It's not even going to really try to be polite about it, at least in my experience. It's like, it does not. Either you play with Dragora or either you play with Dragora only, or your world's going to be a fucking mess. And it just kind of bites, because Dragora, I think, is like a really beautifully made mod, especially like with spawn and a lot of biomes and how thick the jungle and forest can get. And yeah. Oh my god. Okay, how long have I been recording? It has been over an hour. Yay. I will. Oh, come on. There we go. VR's menus is not the best. Well, I guess now's as good a time as any to really, I guess, stop now that I've got my at least most of my thoughts out that I wanted to, and thank you for sticking with this. I don't know, I guess absolute ramble of a fucking series. And I will see all of you next time. Have a good night.